Why are we not taking the threat of AI seriously? Hi guys, my name is Laszlo Bliss and this is my YouTube channel, Bliss Thoughts, which are my thoughts based on technology. This channel will give you a perspective on both aspects of this, so the good and the bad of this transition. So what are we doing to avoid the AI threat? It's a good question, right? By this threat, I mean artificial intelligence getting to a stage where they deem us in their way. Here's a great example produced by none other than Stephen Hawking, the physicist and scientist. He says, "You're probably not an evil ant hater who steps on ants out of malice. If you're in charge of a hydroelectric green project and an anthill was in the way, too bad for the ants. Let's not place humanity in the place of those ants. Whether we bury our head in the sand or not, the reality is there is a threat. The potential is enormous, but if deployed carelessly, the results can be catastrophic. And we want to look at this holistically and think it might not 100% happen, but looking at our past experiences and how we treat the planet and other people. Then there are the likes of James Barrett, Nick Bostrom, or the infamous Elon Musk, who called AI more dangerous than nuclear warheads. They all agree that the potential for artificial intelligence is huge. But if artificial intelligence is a wildfire, then we are just chucking buckets of water right now, trying to contain this. Now, there are organisations trying to combat this. For example, the Machine Intelligent Research Institute, which is probably one of the oldest foundations. The Elon Musk founded company OpenAI is another business. But even with all of this, there is still not enough visibility on artificial intelligence and its risks. And I mean this within the political and the commercial world. In fact, in a paper in 2018 reviewing the state of field, it was concluded that the public policy of AGI, which is artificial general intelligence, does not exist. What? And let's remember what AGI is. This is an artificial intelligence that can replicate any intellectual and cognitive tasks that humans can do. We have a lot of talk and discussions about technical approaches, but there is hardly nothing when it comes to policy planning or international collaboration, as this is a global threat. 2019, only 50 people work full-time dedicated towards AI safety.
Doesn't make any sense.
In a thread by Benjamin Todd, who uses data to quote-unquote have a nicer life, explains that yes, it's great the AI field has grown, but still there's only roughly 100 AI researchers and engineers focused on AI alignment, but there is 100,000 plus researchers focusing on speeding up AI. He then goes on to explain that from AI companies that have made major contributions towards AI safety, there's 4,000, and DeepMind alone has 1,000 employees. It explains that tens of billions is spent on AI research each year, at least 100 million on AI safety. So with all this in consideration, why are we not doing nothing about it? To answer this, we need to decipher the way our brain works. Elise Bohan, in her book Future Human, discussed this quite heavily. She believes that us not focusing our attention on the AI threat is down to something called the availability heuristic. The availability heuristic describes the mental shortcut where we make decisions based on emotional cues, familiar facts, and vivid images that leave an easily recalled impression in our minds.
What the heck does that mean?
Who knows the film Jaws? I'm sure we all do, right? You know, that giant shark swimming around, killing everyone.
Hey, I'm gonna eat y'all. Dana, Dana, Dana.
But seriously, did you know dogs are the real killer, killing 25,000 people last year, while sharks had 73 attacks.
But wait, there's more!
Bohan then goes on to describe, out of the two major incidents where a large amount of radioactive material was emitted, so that is Chernobyl and Fukushima. At Chernobyl there were 46 deaths, while at Fukushima there were no deaths at all. This is not to say there are no problems with nuclear energy, but listen to these statistics.
I'm listening.
Over 1 million deaths were caused by the burning of fossil fuels in 2017, and more than half of those deaths were because of the burning of coal. Nuclear energy is currently our most sustainable energy source. In fact, in an article from Jared Wolf on the Sustainable Review, he argues that nuclear energy is actually better than solar and wind. He explains that according to the IPCC data, solar farms produce 4 times more carbon pollution than nuclear. So for some context, solar produces about 20 times less carbon than a coal-powered plant. Nuclear's carbon impact is still a fraction of solar energy. What happened was a tragedy, and by no means am I discounting the damage done to the planet and the deaths that occurred. But looking at the data, fossil fuels is killing us at a faster rate. Let's remember what the availability heuristic is. It's a tendency to overestimate the probability of events we have recently seen or read about. So this has led to us completely eradicating all nuclear energy plants. The logical thing to do would be to invest in nuclear energy and try to find a way to improve it. But of course, that's not how our brains work. This exposes our short-term thinking and our lack of foresight. Of course, this all comes down to evolution. Where else would it come from? Back then, when we were hunting tigers, or they were hunting us, probably more likely. We're all gonna die! There was no need to worry about tomorrow. There was no need to worry about the next 12 hours. We could be dead later on. It served us well back then, but it doesn't sit that well when dealing with long-term risks, which will happen whether we have experienced it or not. Of course, we've experienced climate change. We've been through it before in the past. You know, a land full of snow and ice. The distinct image of our Neanderthal bodies running about, covered up in wool. We understand that, we get it, so we're trying to react to it. But we're struggling to fathom the idea of an artificial being, a machine, which will rise, overrule us. We haven't experienced that before, so for us it's like,
I don't care.
the thing with an artificial machine, we might not have the opportunity to shut them down. We won't have the chance to plan effectively to try and lower carbon emissions, to close down nuclear plants. Maybe we should react now, because by the time we realise that AI is a threat, it might be too late. And sure enough, great, we've experienced it now.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
Machines can constantly replicate themselves. They will always be one step ahead. The way our brains work, we don't really care. We've got other issues to focus on, which do need attention. But so does artificial intelligence. It is common knowledge that artificial intelligence will become smarter than us. It's like we're waiting for them just to wake up. Nope. Guys, if you found that valuable and you're not too scared, hope you're not, we've still got some time, make sure you hit the subscribe button and like and comment. All the support is much appreciated, and I look forward to bringing more content to you guys later on down the line.